one of the, maybe it's fair to say, the most highly anticipated film of March, because March is a packed month, man. I'm heading out tomorrow night to go see a doubleheader of Scream 6 and 65. And I'm looking forward to both of them very much. And then we still got Dungeons and Dragons coming. But I think it's safe to say, especially amongst a lot of film fans, the most anticipated movie of the month is John Wick Chapter 4. People are wanting to see themselves some John Wick. And I've been waiting to see John Wick ever since the end of the third one. I love this franchise. I love hanging out. Now, I've been a little, dismayed. I just don't know if this thing is something that can be a 3-hour-long movie. And so that was one of my little bit of worries going into it, because we heard the runtime is bumping up and getting close to 3 hours long. And longer does not equal better. So I've been a little bit nervous about it. I know some people have been nervous about it too. Well, the first reactions for this movie have now come out, and they're all saying the runtime ain't no problem. And some people I've talked to are even saying this is the best of the John Wick franchise so far. We can go over to my screen on this, and we're going to read some of the reactions that have come out of John Wick. We got Caitlin, who writes, Chad Stilisky brings it to the next level with John Wick 4. Mind-blowing action sequences and the fantastic world building continues. Keanu kills it, but Donnie Yen is a scene stealer. By the way, you're going to hear Donnie Yen's name brought up a lot, because apparently to a lot of people, he just stole the show. Joseph wrote, John Wick Chapter 4 is intense throughout the entire film. Kane, Donnie Yen's character, steals every scene he's in, and as expected, the action in this film is next level. The film definitively left me wanting more. Lastly, there's a post-credit scene I recommend you staying for. Eric Eisenberg over at Cinema Blend. Cinematical doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. RIP to that old great site. Eric Eisenberg writes, I had reservations about John Wick Chapter 4, nearly 3-hour runtime, but the movie earns it. It's an epic with smart pacing that never lets the action feel exhausting, and the set pieces are phenomenal. Great cast, series of newcomers, but Donnie Yen, there it is again, is the real MVP. We move on to Aaron, who writes, John Wick 4 is incredible, a symphony of controlled and carefully choreographed violence. Every shot in this movie is interesting. The cast is great. The action is beyond impressive. And with such a long running time, it never feels as though I want less of what's taking place. Ian Sandwell writes, John Wick Chapter 4 is absolutely huge. Yes, it's long, but it's outrageously good set pieces, more than make up for it. A slick, brutal, and stylish action epic that sees Keanu Reeves push himself further than before, and with moments that'll have fans talking. One last one here. We'll do Courtney Howard, who writes, brawny, bold, and badass. John Wick 4 brilliantly balances vested stakes with an absolutely spectacular high-octane thrill ride, a soaring, searing, scorching chapter in the saga, the wildest time you'll have at a movie this year, a pure adrenaline rush. And it just goes on and on and on and on. I did not hear... now, granted, again, with first social media reactions, people tend to like to focus on the positive, right? Like even coming out of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, a lot of people just strictly focused on Jonathan Majors is great as Kang, right? And then when you read their full reviews, yeah, they loved Jonathan Majors as Kang, but they also had some issues and what have you. So granted, the first reactions, people who are doing their first reaction, they got one quick tweet they can make. I think it's natural human nature that we like to focus more on what was the positive. I mean, we didn't hear that all the time. I mean, we look at the first reactions coming out of Babylon. Those were not so great. But there's nothing ambiguous about any of these reactions. It's not like they all just focused on Donnie Yen. Like every single one of them goes out of the way to say this thing, like it's almost exhausting how much they're saying, this thing's brilliant. This thing's great. And I'll tell you what, as somebody who loves this franchise, that's really nice for me to hear. And again, like I said before, my biggest apprehension going into this movie is the runtime, because the nature of the John Wick films do not feel like they lend themselves to a close to 3-hour runtime. But I love the fact that a lot of these people giving their first reactions are focusing on that, saying the runtime, no problem. The runtime is not a problem in this movie. And I love hearing it. I cannot wait to watch this thing. I'm super excited for it. I've already got my tickets here. What date? what time, I'm not going to tell you which seat I'm going to be in for this one, but yes, I cannot wait for this. Anyway, Rob, you're hearing the first reactions come out of John Wick. I'm not going to lie to you. I expected good because it's John Wick. I wasn't expecting this good, and some people saying this is the best of the franchise, all that kind of stuff. What do you think?
Dude, first of all, I love this franchise. I went and saw it, on a weekend afternoon, the weekend it opened. And I love the first film. I've loved the second film. I've loved the third film. And this, everything I hear about this, it sounds like, it's one of the greatest movies ever made in my mind. It's like, what's not to love? And, I love, one of the things that I don't think gets talked enough and we heard it in some of these comments, is just how good these movies look. The cinematography, the actual look and feel of them with the colors and the way the action is shot. You can see it in these still frames. I mean, I love the look of these movies, and give me 2 hours and 45 minutes of this. I'm so there for this. I can't wait to see this movie, and I'm expecting great things. I mean, it's exactly, and here's the thing, John, you know what I love about this? The people that are making these movies know what we want to see. We want to see mayhem.
Yep.
We want to see fight scenes we haven't seen, and the motorcycles on the bridge in John Wick 3. I'm like, I didn't know I wanted to see that, but of course that's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And everything I've seen in John Wick 4 just tells me. I mean, I would love to sit around with Stileski and be like, dude, what are you going to do next? Like, does he dream about these action sequences? Like, I was thinking we'll get 10,000 ninjas to show up, and John Wick will kill them all on the top of an exploding volcano. I'm like, that sounds really good. I don't know. I can't wait for this. I'm so excited for this. What is it, next weekend?
No, it is actually, if you go back to me here for a second, I've got my, you can't see it, but there's my AMC A-list reservations right now. I got 4 currently lined up.
Zoom in and enhance.
Yeah, somebody already just did that.
I got Scream 6, my tickets, there's my tickets for Scream 6, my tickets for Shazam, my tickets for Dungeons and Dragons, the early one, and then down there, my ticket for John Wick. It's March 23rd.
Yeah, okay, right, okay, yeah.
It's the day that comes out. March 23rd.
Can't
and no Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is not on this list, right?
It's going to be double feature.
No, that's where you're going with that.
No.
I cannot wait, man. I cannot wait. I am so stoked for this. I mean, actually, listen, I am legitimately, this is how great this month is. I am legitimately excited about every single one of these movies on here.
Me too.
And you know what? I just saw Operation Fortune, which I enjoyed. You know what? Somebody pointed this out in the comments section. And they're right. It was after I came out of Creed and maybe after Fortune, one of the viewers wrote on things, man, it's really nice to see John liking some movies again. Because it's been a while since I came out of a movie that I really like. And lately, though, I've got to see Creed 3. Operation Fortune wasn't great, but I enjoyed it. And now I look here, still coming up this month, Scream 6. I'm not a big Scream guy, but I really like Scream 5. Scream 6, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, Dungeons and Dragons, John Wick, all still this month. I'm so stoked, man. This is a good time to be a movie fan.
It's a good time.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The early reactions now coming out of John Wick Chapter 4 are as sky high as we kind of hope they would be. How do you think it'll turn out? Do you think this is a situation where, depending here, how do you interpret the wording you heard in those responses? Do you think maybe they're just accentuating the positive for now and they'll get more negative once the reviews come out? I don't know. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Guys, it's the new year. Do you remember those New Year's goals you promised yourself you'd stick to? HelloFresh is here to help you eat better by delivering fresh ingredients and easy recipes right to your door, taking the hassle out of dinner time. Looking for an easy way to eat well and save money? Cut back on expensive takeout and delivery and get started with HelloFresh. You'll love how fast, easy, and affordable it is to whip up a restaurant-quality meal right in your own kitchen. My wife Ann and I have been constantly impressed by HelloFresh. Not only how absolutely delicious the food is, but how easy it is to prepare and how much fun we have doing it. Go to HelloFresh.com/Campea60 and use the code Campea60 for 60% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/Campea60 for 60% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.